Are you a woman over 35 having some weird symptoms? The hormonal decline of our sex hormones during peri to postmenopause can cause bizarre and even withdrawal-like symptoms. This can lead to frustration and extra expenses running around to try to go to specialists, try to figure out what the heck is going on. But really, in fact, menopause is typically to blame. So in today's video, I'm sharing 12 unusual symptoms of menopause that may surprise you. But first, if you're new here, I'm Natalie Up, owner of Fired Up Fitness and the creator of the Midlife Mom Bod Tune-Up, where I've helped hundreds of women transform their peri to postmenopause years with proven methods for natural hormone support and weight loss. Please subscribe and like this video if you want to learn more. If you are new to the words perimenopause or menopause, let's do a brief recap. First, perimenopause can start as early as 35 years old and lasts for 8 to 10 years. During this time, you're still ovulating to some degree and are having a menstrual cycle anywhere from every month to just some months. That kind of depends on if you're on birth control or maybe have had a partial hysterectomy. Now, menopause is the one day, yes, the one day where you've gone 12 months consecutively without a period. And postmenopause, well, that's the rest of your life. Most people are familiar with the hallmark symptoms of the menopause transition. These include sudden feelings of heat, like hot flashes and night sweats, irregular periods, and mood changes like extra irritability. Some say there are up to 100 different symptoms associated with menopause. But today, I'm just going to uncover 12 surprising symptoms that often fly under the radar, but that you really need to know about so you can not freak out as much if they happen to you. First up, let's tackle brain fog. It's like you feel like your mind's all clouded, your memory's not there. You might be walking into a room and you're like, no, what did I walk in here for again? You're forgetting people's names, or you're like, oh, what's that person's name again? Those kind of things. It really makes it challenging to focus and to remember things. But it's just brain fog, and it's because of menopause. Next on the list is heart flutters. These are those unexpected palpitations in your heart, but it can almost feel like your heart is dancing versus beating in your chest, but you kind of feel like it's almost like skipping a beat or something. If you're, it's always good to get it checked out by your doctor if you are, noticing it a lot, but most often that has something to do with menopause. Number 3 is high cholesterol. Menopause can throw your cholesterol levels so out of whack and increase your risk for heart disease. And if you have high familial cholesterol, like me, watch out even more. Mine jumped to 306 this year after I was postmenopause. Make sure to check out my video on how I lowered it though by 60 points just with natural ways and nutrition, and I'll put that link in the description below. When the next one happened to me, it scared me to death. So the next symptom is weird nerve sensations. If you've ever experienced these are things like your skin's crawling, you've got tingling, some people feel like they've got pins and needles, and more. It's really not your imagination. It's actually part of menopause. Menopause, and more specifically a decline in estrogen, can cause some of these strange sensations. And I mean, for me, I can't even wear leggings anymore, and even as a personal trainer, because I just don't like it. Just makes my skin crawl to have tight things on my legs anymore. It's kind of weird. I also experience in this category nerve paresthesia, or the tingling. And for right after I was postmenopause, I felt like my left foot was being suffocated by my sock. I tried all different socks, nothing worked. I got it checked out by doctors. I was freaking out that I had something horribly wrong. I even made an appointment to get my varicose veins treated on my left leg, thinking, oh, that must be the cause now. But before I could get into the appointment, I actually started some HRT and with estradiol cream, and actually the sensations went away. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So thank you, menopause, once again. All right, moving on to frozen shoulder is the next symptom. This can be a super frustrating condition that can limit your range of motion and, make things like grabbing something out of a top cabinet hard. And honestly, at the beginning, this was one of my first symptoms, and I had no idea the connection because I was still pretty young, like 38. And I remember went to go have it checked by an orthopedic doctor, and it wasn't officially frozen, but I definitely had limited range of motion, and I was having pain that would wake me up in the middle of the night because of it. So I ended up having to do several months of physical therapy, and it took me a lot. It made a big impact on my muscle. I lost a lot of upper body strength that I had that I had worked so many years for, but it took a lot of time for it to heal and to get back. So frozen shoulder is another one of those hormonal connections with menopause. So the next one is we're going to shine the light on some anxiety. And anxiety is definitely related to menopause because it can crank up the anxiety dial and leave you feeling like you're on edge and overwhelmed. And honestly, for me, when my hormones really dropped when I was post-menopause, I was also sending my firstborn off to college and through sorority recruitment, so no stress whatsoever. But that anxiety, I just kept saying, I cannot believe how anxious I am right now, and all this anxiety. And it would just, I had never felt anything like that. It was almost paralyzing to even get things done. But you really need to work on, keeping your stress down, getting good sleep, to stay on top of that, or actually see a therapist if you need more help with that. Okay, number 7 is tinnitus. And that tinnitus is that annoying ringing or buzzing noise in your ears, if you've ever had this, and is connected to that dip in hormones. I only get this sporadically, but it will just come out of nowhere, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, why are my ears ringing? So random. Okay, next, I talked about frozen shoulder before, but now I just want to address the symptom of overall joint pain. Menopause can bring on the aches and the creaky joints. And again, I noticed most when my estrogen took a nosedive post-menopause, because man, I would get out out of bed in the morning. I was like, oh my gosh, my back. I was like the old lady, but it didn't go away until I started my HRT in January. And so, I've only been on it about 6 months now, but that I know it went away when I upped my estrogen levels again. So the 9th symptom is one that I've heard several friends discuss. I don't personally get these, but those are those pesky UTIs. They always say they seem to pop out of nowhere and they just don't know why they're getting them. But I've got friends that, get them on a repetitive basis. And their doctors don't even know why they're getting them. But menopause makes you susceptible to get the urinary tract infections, and you really just need to keep up with proper hydration and hygiene practices to keep them at bay. Now for a fun one. Let's address lovely vaginal atrophy and itching. What a fun symptom. Menopause can wreak havoc on those lady parts of ours, but it causes dryness. With the decrease in estrogen and progesterone, it causes dryness and discomfort and itching. Thankfully, using the right clean lubricants and the option of also using vaginal estradiol cream are great options to keep you more comfortable down there. Moving on to symptom 11. Jaw pain. Yep, you heard it right. Menopause can affect your jaw, causing pain and discomfort. And this isn't something I've had, but I do know clients that have had this and friends that are grinding their teeth or clenching their jaw. And a lot of time this is due to the extra stress that you might experience in menopause. So you really want to work on the stress relief techniques and even doing mouth guard, and staying hydrated again is another really good tip for that. Last but not least is muscle loss. So when we go through menopause, we're more apt to lose muscle. If we don't, use it, you're going to lose it. And actually, research is showing that you can lose 10% of your muscle mass during perimenopause alone. So you definitely want to, stick with the strength training into your golden years. You're never too old to lift up a dumbbell or do some body weight exercises. And you also want to make sure you increase that protein. So there you have it. 12 surprising symptoms of menopause that you need to be aware of. Remember, knowledge is power. So if you found this helpful, most likely a friend will too. So please like this video and share it away. And if you need step-by-step guidance, check out my online program, the Midlife Mom Bod Tune-Up, and that link will be in the description below. It's a 21-week set program where I walk you through every habit you need to know to get through menopause and feel better on a day-to-day basis. Well, looks like it's time to go. Hope you're feeling fired up. Bye.